Legal Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We're here talking about Mr. Robot, Season 4, Episode 5, Method Not Allowed.
It's cool, dude. We don't have to talk.
It's time we talk.
Oh,
that was the
quick.
episode. Da-da-da. We just actually gave all of the dialogue from the episode. It's a fun gimmick. I think it's well carried out. A gimmick we have seen before. My wife reminded me that in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they had an episode called Hush.
Yes, a very famous episode.
Famous episode, which they did it all without any dialogue, and then they ended. Their last line of dialogue was, "I guess we have to talk."
I guess we do.
Ta-da! We just did 2 shows worth of dialogue.
So
right there, guys.
Just killing it.
That's 2 hours
for free
that we've
for
just
you.
given you like in 30 seconds.
That's right.
Okay. So obviously a lot of nonverbal stuff happens in this episode.
Yeah.
But okay, so as we suspected, we pick up right where we left off with episode 4, where Elliot gets picked up by Darlene. He's out in the middle of nowhere. Notably, this is the only time that we see Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is standing next to Elliot as they watch the van burning. But once Darlene picks up Elliot, he is not seen. No. And obviously, since there's no dialogue, he's not heard.
Yeah.
So there's no narration.
No.
Which is so, it is, unlike, this would be interesting for a lot of shows. But for this show in particular, because it has so much narration in it, it is especially different. Like, it really sets itself off. Like, what? Wait, where's the... where's Christian Slater? Why not? Anyway. So, yeah, it's interesting that Mr. Robot is gone for this period of time. It is, with a few exceptions and subplots, it is primarily a heist. Darlene and Elliot working together.
Yes.
And I like the fact that we see them do a lot of the nonverbals, and part of their problem this season, or as Darlene perceives it, is that they aren't connecting.
Right.
But you see that they really do have, when it comes to like breaking into stuff, they have a simpatico. They're like,
yes.
And so it's believable that they don't have to talk.
Yeah, and after her frustration, which they actually recounted at the start of the show in the flashback, or the recap, or whatever you could call it, when they're pretty much at the end of their day, and Elliot takes her hand, it has resonance.
Because, it does. It does. They actually are holding hands.
It's like it was believable that in the previous episode she was so frustrated with Elliot, and yet she committed to him still. Like, no matter what, she wants to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah.
So...
Agreed. So while they're breaking into virtual realty in order to, I believe their goal is to siphon the funds out of this Cyprus National Bank and hit Dark Army where it counts in the cash department. I think that's what they're trying to do.
I don't know what their objective is.
We actually don't see what they accomplish.
No, we really don't.
Let's hope it was something. I mean, one of the complaints about the season so far is that nothing is really happening. And so for this was a lot happened, but if the end result was, they blocked it, you'd be like, oh no. So I'm going to assume that they were successful.
Sure. I
mean, they spent a lot of time for them not to be successful.
Yeah, that'd be unfortunate if it was all that, and then no, we still got to do something else.
Yeah, Dark Army caught us. Yeah, they saw it, and they switched banks. Yeah, it wasn't Cyprus at all. Very tense. We get back to the hacker quality of the show. I mean, it's never really left, but they accentuate it in this particular episode. And we get communication through, texts and stuff like that.
Yes.
So they keep the idea. Plus, it's like we're given scenarios where it's not that people aren't talking necessarily, but they maybe have just finished talking, or they're...
we don't see the talking.
We don't see it. Darlene obviously talks
it's like from a distance.
To the security guard. When Dom is in the police station, it's an active police station, and there's been a murder. People are talking, but we just don't hear it. No. Which is fine. I appreciate that way they did that. So I think overall the big takeaway is that silently, these brother and sister work as a team. They pull off this really daring heist. If you want, it's like they're stealing information. I don't know. It's not, a heist is maybe the wrong word because they're not taking cash, but there's a daring break-in.
Yeah, sure. Definitely daring.
And as you say, they end holding hands. So they have come together in that moment. That's, I think, the main, say, plot character takeaway from this. In the little minor sub-beats, you've got Dom has been assigned to, go find Elliot and Darlene now, to track them down.
And kill them.
Did it say kill? I mean, that's the implication.
I think so. Well, you're right. I shouldn't. What else would you do?
Yeah, I know. Janice.
I guess she could just finger them for the actual or the other killers or whatever.
I did notice that they have a scene. They deliberately show Dom walking a little dog. Maybe 15 minutes after they show Janice doing taxidermy on a dog, and I'm like, please don't kill Dom's dog. It's like a horrible. I could see this like Dark Army. Oh look, this could happen to you. We taxidermied your dog, and your little dog too. So yeah, hopefully that dog's in danger. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
If I'm that dog, I'm not making too many plans ahead. So Dom,
vacationing, in Nice or something.
Dom is ordered to go and get information on the burning ban and such, and she's so that's kind of her little role in things. Interestingly, there was a commenter that we had from 2 episodes ago who I think is right on the money.
You're on the money.
Excellent prediction from M626M. Thank you, M626M. The prediction was that Dom would use the skill set of this Irish guy, McGuire, who she was talking to in episode 2 and put in jail, and his specialty is like making people disappear. And this the commenter suggested that perhaps Dom would use this guy's skill set to make herself disappear, or her family, or I was even thinking maybe Elliot or Darlene, perhaps. But if she's going to have to try to kill them, maybe a way to kill them is to make them disappear.
That could be.
Because what we saw is that this guy gets away.
It's an interesting theory. And if I had to put money on it, I probably would. But we don't know yet.
We don't know. We do not know. It's not 100%. No. But it was interesting how they just slid in quietly in this episode, very quietly, I suppose. No dialogue. That Dom checks her screen and she sees that this guy McGuire has been released. It came out of nowhere. There was no reason to have it except to be like, oh, that'll be interesting later. So something important with this guy's skill set is coming up. So thank you, M626M. I think you're onto something. We've got this to me is an annoying subplot that I think it's just so far removed at this point. It's kind of a who cares, is the therapist, the former therapist, and the fact that this guy Vera is tracking her down.
Right.
And he does, and he's the guy that gives the last line. He gives one of the only lines. It's time we talk. So she's been tracked down. To what end?
He's going to use it as leverage to try to get, to create a partnership with Elliot. That's what he said he was going to do. He perhaps I don't know how realistic it is for him to feel like, I can't be too bad to him. I can't go after Darlene, for instance, or whatever, because I want him to actually be a partner. But. We don't actually know.
This feels like another random obstacle, is what in the making.
It might, but I mean, since we are where we are, it might be sort of like, oh shit, I thought we were gonna die, and then that crazy dude came in with a gun.
All right.
It's a good thing he came in and distracted everybody and shot or whoever needed to shoot or whatever.
I assume they're gonna bring it in some way, but for the moment, it's a bit frustrating.
Sure.
We do see that Dom is obviously now intersecting with their story. Big time. She gets the picture from Janice. These two people, I wonder who they are. She has a little bit of a connection to them. She's supposed to go find them. So there's that. Couple of cool Easter eggs I saw. So Price, meanwhile, as well, is being led around town in this little Easter egg hunt of his own to figure out where this meeting, or when this meeting is taking place. The day this group is going to meet to select his replacement. we eventually find out the meeting is going to be at 9 o'clock that night. It's still daylight, so there's probably still a few hours before this meeting is happening. But in the process, he's at a restaurant when this guy comes by, the pretend waiter, and the restaurant he's at is Bruckman's. I looked it up, little Google thingy.
Sure, that's why it's there.
Bruckman, a director of silent movies back, turn of the century-ish, directed Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, those kind of folks. So then he's directed to a laundromat, dry cleaner. It's Murnau's. Well, Murnau was the director of Nosferatu, another silent movie. So it's kind of this little silent movies.
Sure, yeah, silent movies. There you go. Homage.
One Easter egg, I wasn't exactly sure of why it was in there, but when Darlene uses her fake ID to get in, she uses the name Dolores Hayes.
Okay.
Dolores Hayes is the name of the main character in Lolita.
Oh.
I'm like,
is this?
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not sure where that necessarily fits in, but okay.
Dolores Hayes is Lolita?
Is Lolita, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I don't know, if you've got an idea for why that name was chosen, let us know.
Interesting.
I like the fact that the security guard is watching Die Hard because and it's Christmas, so it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. But it's funny because, the security guard does not come off very well in Die Hard.
No.
And I was thinking, is this guy going to get whacked? I don't know. That's security guard gets killed off. Pretty,
Boom!
Right, exactly. Back to magic. Anyway, so he didn't die, which, he defied the Die Hard expectations of the security guard. He is, I'll give him credit, he's on their trail.
Yeah.
For most of the time. He's a pretty inquisitive, with it guard. He could have just been like, oh, the lights are out.
Yep.
Oh, well, I'll just get some sleep. I don't know, whatever. But no, he's annoying to them.
Yes.
Elliot has a lot of stamina. We realize he's been training, apparently.
Oh, right, yes.
For the Olympics.
Yes.
That guy, he's
sprinting.
Young.
He's young. People who are older forget, or at least astounded. He's able to run.
What's about? He kind of passes by, he goes through Central Park. He goes. I don't know if he's not in Times Square, but he kind of goes through here are the landmarks. Let me run by these.
One of the things that reminded me of the chase that they had was from Unlimited. I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
I've seen excerpts from it, but I haven't seen the whole movie.
Yeah. So there's this point where a character is afraid because she's going to be found by someone who wants to kill her, or at least that's what she fears. And she, does something where all of a sudden she's like, I know exactly what I need to do. And so she starts running and she jumps onto this ice rink.
Oh, sure. That's what he did. Right?
Yeah, right. And so, this guy's on her tail and she picks up the little girl and twirls her around so that the ice skates chop the guy.
Oh, really?
And she's able to get away.
Skates?
Yeah.
I thought she was going to throw the kid at him.
Yeah. No. It was like, poof, and then she's like, and he just runs. He was able to get away.
Oh.
So that's what it reminded me.
So that's what if you're ever being chased by the cops, look for an ice rink. Yeah, get in, slippy slidey around, and then just jump off the other side. Yeah. Or use some skates and kill them. Yeah.
Apparently it's easier to run across ice.
Right.
That's what it is.
So I was just thinking of the most recent time I saw someone being chased through New York. The Joker movie. Yes. Maybe he could have been passed by Joker the other direction.
But,
look!
That all happened in his head.
Oh, that's true. That was all in his head. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Although we are talking about Elliot, this could have all happened in Elliot's head, too.
Yes.
Maybe the Joker movie was happening in Elliot's head. So... I know this is a little bit short, but there's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of, that was the plot. Go. We did the thing. He ran around a bunch as a sacrifice, right? In that moment, they're about to get caught, and he decides, I'm going to sacrifice myself in order to have Darlene be able to finish the mission and kind of be safe, essentially. I'm going to lure the cops away. He lures the cops away, but he does it so well, he escapes.
Yeah, there you go. It's a really good lure.
Yeah, and then she picks him up at the end, and then they have the holding hands. And then we lead to the therapist getting kidnapped, which obviously next episode she'll be being held hostage.
Yes.
But it's going to be one of those like, I don't have time. I got to go save the world. Okay. So yeah, there you go, everybody.
There you go.
Short and sweet. Cha. We'll be back next week talking about Mr. Robot and The Watchmen.
Yes.
So thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.